What's going on, listeners with attitude? Welcome to another special presentation, by the MWA. Tonight we are reviewing Monarch episode 3. And man, I'm excited for this. I think we all have some different opinions. I think it's going to be a heated debate, but it's going to be a lot of fun as always here at the MWA. We're not afraid to share some opinions, whether we all agree or disagree. So this should be a good time. But as always, I'm your host with the most, Mr. Joe Mama, and joined with me as always are my brothers from other mothers, the bearded Kaiju himself, the legendary one, Mr. Stalapi Poppy. What's going on, Eric? How are you?
I'm doing good. It'll be an interesting debate because, I think I heard some opinions and anxious to dissect them and see actually why, if there's actually good reasoning for it. So,
yeah. Next to him, we have Bada Boom, the realest Goji fan in the room, Jordan, the Don, Dorno. What's going on, Jordy? How are you?
I would have been a lot better if we had a better episode. That's all I'll say.
Ooh,
oh my
shots
God.
fired already. Shots fired already. Below me here is this episode sucked in the headline. Wow, Sammy's not holding back either. Mr. Samson West, how are you, buddy? What's going on?
Ditto what he said.
All right, man. Tough crowd in here tonight. Tough crowd. And last but most certainly not least, the conductor of the Godzilla train, choo choo, Adrian Settle. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Long week at work. I'm excited to talk about this episode because I guess we are about to have some heated debates because we got some small-minded individuals in here who didn't see the big picture, but I'm excited to see what people say.
Wait, what? My mind is blowing right now. Wait, what? Okay, all right. Hang on. This is gonna get good really hot. This is gonna get really good really fast. Before we get into the nitty-gritty deep dive, I'm gonna go back around through each of you very quickly. Just don't be too specific. Give me your general thoughts of this episode before I ask some specific questions. I just want to know, did you like it? Did you not? Very simple. Adrian, I'm going to start with you, actually.
Was the most action-packed? No, but I did like it.
Sammy.
I was disappointed, and I'm going to hold my opinion that I think this is probably going to be the weakest one unless episode 4 is somehow weaker.
Jordy.
It was bad.
And Eric.
just like my.
It's not always about the kaiju. Okay. Well, it's funny that you did that, Eric, because I did the same thing. I think this episode was weak. So I'm more in the negative category by far. But we'll get to that in a minute. I want to know, not much to talk about kaiju. We will get to that in a minute. But story-wise, let's just jump right into it. Adrian, why do you think that there's more to this than maybe we're not getting?
I'm gonna go with the most obvious thing, and that is that Apex has what they need to start creating Mega Godzilla. Apex has that round spear that we saw at the beginning of Godzilla X Kong, and I'm really excited to see them continue on with that storyline about building up Mega Godzilla, because he is officially here, and they're starting to build him up and taking that orbit as the first step. So I'm excited to see where we go with that.
Okay, I did notice that as well. Very good, very good. We'll go to a negative person now. So Samson.
I was just disappointed. The flow was very weak. Nothing of real consequence really happened. One thing happened. There was only one thing that happened, and that's Shaw sleeping with what's her face. But I mean, other than that, it bounced around to different random scenes that just had no real consequence to the bigger story, in my opinion. That was the only thing that I found to be like the most significant part of it, is that they slept together in the past, and maybe, possibly, probably, my prediction is that God, I'm so bad with the names, that the child is not Billy's. Like her son is not actually Billy's. It's
established in the first season. It's not Billy's. Her husband died. She's a widower.
Okay, never mind. Anyway, I wasn't impressed. It was slow, drawn out, and nothing of real significance happened, in my opinion. Just the one night stand, and that's like the only thing that was like, oh wow, okay, but that's it. Other than that, it's like didn't care for what happened.
Okay. So we'll go back to somebody who's chomping at the bit, it looks like, to maybe give his opinion and prove us all wrong. But before we go to him, we're going to go to Jordan.
My thing is, I mean, we just left off episode 2 with not a huge cliffhanger, but with the tease of Titan X, and we finally got a little bit more of it, a continuation of it, as I may say, in the beginning of the episode, with some little snippets of Titan X, and then the rest was just, for me, it just dragged on way too long. I mean, granted, we were getting a lot of character development within certain individuals that are going to be playing a huge role in the show. But I've said this a handful of times. We have mentioned this a handful of times. We are in this for the monster versus monster action whenever it is that we are discussing any type of kaiju property. And maybe it also had something to do with me also having high hopes, thinking that Godzilla is going to come into this episode, since now that 2 of our lead protagonists, or if anything, 4 of them, are currently in Tokyo, Japan, and it reminded me a lot of certain scenes that played off throughout the trailers. So I'm like, oh, Godzilla's finally coming. But it was just lackluster for me. It was extremely boring. There was some drama, there was some drama in there, which was nice, but nothing that really captivated me.
Eric?
All right. So first off, the jumping around from recent to past, isn't that what the whole premise of the freaking show is? Like, you can't tell me they're doing too much of that and you can't keep up, and it's out of, what are you talking about? That's what the whole show has been about from season 1. Like, this is no different than what they've done the last 2 episodes.
This right here.
It's the same. It is the same. And then, like my little caption says here, it is not always about the kaiju. We have talked, and I agree, how we got into this stuff has always been about the kaiju action. I get that. That's never going to change. But as we've grown up, we have admitted that there are movies that we love, character development, character stories, and we will watch the movie, the series, for the human characters alone. Have we not? And this show, when it first was imagined, did we not know that this was going to be more focused on humans and not kaiju or titans? Did we not know that from the beginning? So it happened in season 1, and it's happening in season 2, where we're not going to get kaiju in every single episode. That is okay. That's okay. Doesn't mean it's a bad episode or a bad show. This episode was so deep and getting us a whole bunch of backstories and cause and effects for a whole bunch of things. It was crazy. It was very good writing, honestly, for almost every single character. They had backstories for almost everybody, just a little bit. Maybe they didn't go super in depth into them, but they showed you a little peek on what to expect or what can play out later on in the series that's going to affect these characters and their relationships and how they see each other and them going forward. Honestly, that is what the show is about. How did we miss that? when this first was made, because we all knew that's supposed to be about Monarch. It's supposed to be about their history and how things were made and how things came to be. Well, you don't have Monarch without the people behind Monarch. And that's what we're learning about, is the people behind Monarch, their backstories, what transpired into these events, and how it all came to be. That's what this show is about. So to me, it was a good show. It was a good episode. It was a deep episode, and I enjoyed it.
Jordan, you look like you want to say a rebuttal to that. Yeah?
Please.
Two things. One, why are you pointing up to me when last night you were just bashing the freaking episode, talking about quote,
there was one thing that I bashed. There's one thing that I bashed. Y'all know what that is.
Adrian, quote unquote. That's fair. I'll have to agree. Make it make sense.
Yes,
And
because of the Kaiju. Because we didn't get.
I want to know specifically what it was that drew your attention, that made you go, this was actually a fantastic episode. When majority of it was exposing the mom as to what we had mentioned and what we had stated last episode, how the mom's a Team Billy all the way. And then it shows her son. It translates to her son, who's also a man. And then it translates to his daughter, who's also an undecisive, who's pissed off that she unleashed a monster, has some type of PTSD. Just what was it that made it so phenomenal, at least in your eyes? Specifically, I want details.
For one, I don't know how far you want to go into this, Joe. I don't know of your questions. And
by all means, no. Like, this is great.
What makes that the daughter? What's her name? Kate. What makes her that? She's not dating anybody. Do not people go out to bars and hit on other people and hook up with other people? Does that make them bad?
Oh,
that's a normal person. I'm sorry, I'm not judging her off of just weird opinions. Honestly.
No, hang on though. To be fair, in season 1, she cheated on her girlfriend or wife with that chick that she met up with at the bar. So that's not just some random girl. In season 1, it's established that the reason why she feels so guilty, one of the reasons she feels so guilty, is because she was having an affair on her I think she was also a coworker, the other teacher that she was dating.
Yeah.
So it's not, it isn't just like, yes, she's single now, but in season 1, it is technically established that she was having an affair with, we never meet the person she's having an affair with, but to me, it's heavily implied that it is this blonde woman that we meet in this episode. Though I understand what Eric is saying, though, she is technically single right now, kind of playing devil's advocate to both sides here. But to Jordan's point, we do see in the prior season that she does have an affair, or does cheat.
Mind you, I think I made it loud and clear as to how I feel about certain main protagonists of the show. I feel like they are weak. Kate from season 1 has always been about one thing, and that's just nonstop whining and complaining. I hate those type of characters. They're heavily established in a lot of anime, especially in recent years, and I've had my opinions regarding those specific shows and their main protagonists leading up to the anime's finale. But characters like this are not ones that draw my attention. Listen, how about stop the freaking whining and let's just jump right on to what is right there in front of our face, and that is the ultimate reality, that we cannot change whatever it is that you're freaking complaining about. There's a bigger picture right here. So let's just move on forward and figure out the solution to solve whatever issue is right in front of us. I feel like Kate has yet to prove that. And also, Team Billy. Gotta support Team Billy. # Team Billy. Established by Monsters with Attitude. That's going to be trending throughout all of the rest of season 2 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. The guy who abandoned an 11-year-old kid. Great.
That's right.
Great
Team
choice.
Billy. He did that with a purpose, Eric. He did that with a purpose.
No, he didn't.
He did that for the better Monarch.
Well, I'll say this, Jordan. You actually to interject into your guys' little squabble, which I love, by the way. Keep it going by all means, and anybody else can chime in. I don't care. Jordan, you actually said it best. I think one of the biggest reasons to me why this episode is my least favorite of this season so far is that Kate is dangerously flirting with that overly whiny, woe is me type of thing that I don't like either. I understand that she has like, oh, I'm the one that released this Titan, and I have this burden. Okay, that'd be fine. What's so scary about this Titan so far? That's my biggest complaint, is for what she's like being so whiny about. And I understand that we'll probably see Titan X or Koika, I believe is what the name was, in her glory in later episodes, and they're saving that. But for the amount of weight that she's giving off and the amount of screen that she's trying to chew with this emotion, we haven't seen Titan X do anything. I mean, her breakout from the tomb was pretty cool. Her roar in the bay was pretty cool. But why is she a threat? Why? Like, to me, I think that they should not have had them save those ships in episode 2. I wasn't here last week, so you guys didn't hear my opinion. I don't think they should have stopped. Or they should have tried to stop, but they failed to stop Titan X from destroying those ships to show some type of threat by her. Because as of right now, she escaped from Axis Mundi and she's been swimming. She ran immediately off of Skull Island, went right into the water, and summoned the scarabs. But that's really it. Like, and then she swam towards some ships, but we haven't seen her do anything. So to me, I'm just kind of like, what if she's a benevolent Titan like Mothra, or something? Like, there's nothing been established so far that would make me feel like that amount of weight should be on Kate's shoulders. And that's it. And she's constantly whining and the woe is me. And it does get annoying. So I understand what you're saying, Jordan. But I will say this too. You want to say something, Eric, before I make another point? I was just going to say, like, the jumping part, I have to side with Eric on this. It doesn't bother me because that's been going on since the first season, like going back to the past, to the present, to whatever. Like, that doesn't bother me as much. And it honestly doesn't bother me as much that there wasn't kaiju in this episode, because I am a big fan of slow burn, big payoff. And that's what I hope that they are doing. We still have 7 episodes to go, so there's a lot of other story and whatnot that they can tell. So I don't mind the human development, if you will. I think that's the word that was said, or the character development, excuse me. But to me, it fell flat. Because of, like I just said, with Kate being kind of whiny and stuff to me, for a reason I'm not sold on yet, because I haven't seen what Titan X can do. And the whole sleeping together thing, I mean, we got our first sexy time in a Godzilla movie or Godzilla franchise, so that's kind of like, hey, what you doing there? Like, oh, my boys. But
fast too, boy, just bam.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't really bother me, because clearly there was already an attraction. It's just that I don't feel like it should have just been about that. I feel like there could have been a little bit more world building, and that's my problem with this episode, is that it just fell flat. There wasn't enough. There wasn't enough moving the ball forward, I guess is what I'm saying. I just don't feel like that finding out that they actually slept together once was enough. I wanted more world building of the history of that island, of Titan X, of what's filling in the gaps between 2014 and King of the Monsters. And to me, I didn't get that. And I think that's a big reason why it fell flat. I have several other points to make, but I won't make them. Eric, I know you've been chomping at the bit to try and and say something.
I was just gonna say, like, the whole Kate thing, I think it's just because let's be honest, she has daddy issues now with her whole realization that her dad, did cheat on her mom and was completely absent and never told her, blah blah blah, this and that. That cuts deep for a child. It's something that you couldn't realize or comprehend. I think how deep it could hit a child, for that kind of incidents, like knowing that you have a brother and no idea who it was, had this other person that your dad, your father, was having this life with. She literally hasn't even come to terms with it yet. Yeah, she found her dad, but she hasn't walked through it. She hasn't digested it. She hasn't done anything. And right now her head is spinning 100 miles a minute right now. And she ain't focused. Plus, then, okay, yeah, she has the guilt of releasing the Titan. Okay, that's probably a scapegoat or a cover up for what she's really hiding. And that is the issues with her father and how she has not dealt with them yet. So she went off on a binger, like anybody does. If you're upset, if you're angry, if you broke up with somebody or whatever, you go out and you drink your problems away like any normal person would do. That's what she did. That's what she did. I'm serious. Like, you're going to do that to get rid of or not think of all the stuff that's going on in your life and whatever. That's what she's doing. That's what she did. Okay. So that's how I see it, is that she just has those issues with her father. She didn't want to talk to him. And, he's like, oh, just blame everything on me. And she's like, no, you don't get that, kind of thing. Like, it's just a lot of that internal personal things, I think, that they're trying to make relatable to the viewers. How we're not just focused on these larger than life kaiju and what they're doing. We're focusing on the people and the real day struggles that people go through, the real day issues that they deal with. I think they're focusing more on that in terms of issues with these characters and really kind of flushing them out and giving you a reason to care about these characters or what they're going through or how they feel, because they want you to feel for these people, because it makes you invested in the show, in these people. So if something happens to them, you're either A, excited, or B, you're sad. That's the whole point of storytelling. You want to get invested in that.
I just think Grey's Anatomy.
So do it then. Stop watching the show. No one's making you watch it.
You don't want a rebuttal, Samson? No. Okay. Well, I'll do it for you. We've talked about this. Maybe your opinion on it, Eric, has softened, but old timeline, Shaw, Billy, Keiko. Current timeline, Shaw, older Shaw, Keiko, and Hiroshi. I like them. The three young kids, and Anna Sewa, she's kind of hit or miss right now for me this season.
I get it.
I just don't have a connection to any of them. None of them are people that I'm rooting for. To me, like, they kind of drag on screen. And maybe that's why this episode just didn't land. It focused a little bit too much on the younger kids or the younger cast, and I just don't think that they're I don't think they're strong enough to carry the show on their own. I really don't. It's weird to me. Okay, so like in season 1, I forget Kate's brother's name, Kentaro. And what's Kirstie Clemens' character's name? I know her alias is Cora, but May.
Yeah, May.
It's established that they were kind of a thing, but then like the past two seasons, they've been hinting at like May and Kate are maybe going to get it on, but then now like Kate's going back to her old fling, and May doesn't even barely talk to Kentaro anymore. Kentaro doesn't even. It's like, what are we doing? Like, we're just forgetting all that. Like, we're gonna pretend like May and Kentaro didn't date and whatever. Like, that's a hand grenade into the whole dynamic of everything. If May and Kate get together, which is just, I don't know. Like, to me, I'm not watching these shows for a love story. Like, that to me is not going to hook me. I want the mythos and the world building of Monarch. I want the lore and the mythos and the world building of these Titans. I want, so to me, like, you lose me. Like, when Shaw and Keiko are hooking up, I'm like, okay. I mean, couldn't you have just said that in like a line real quick that, oh, we did it once or something? Like, I don't know. I'm not a love story guy. I'm just not. It's just not my thing. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Sure. Every once in a while, I'm down to watch The Notebook, cry my eyes out like a little schoolgirl. Absolutely. But when I'm watching like a Godzilla movie, I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm watching Power Rangers, I don't care about Tommy and Kimberly. You know what I mean? Like, that's not why I'm watching it. I want the world building and the story and all that. And so I don't know. That's where it loses me.
So
yes, exactly. Because
so I'm sorry, Samson. Really quick. I will say, I did bring this up last episode discussion. I don't care too much for the love storytelling. I don't mind that at all. But it's just the way how they applied it in this episode that I'm like, that's it. Like, come on, are you freaking kidding me? And again, this is also being biased that it was more heavily towards the characters that I'm not leading forward towards any, throughout the entire show, if anything, at that. But that I would just throw that in there. And I'll also throw in, I was watching with Michelle, and from a female's perspective, and we did discuss why would it be okay to throw in some type of love story into Monarch. It would be because it would draw another audience to attract them to this show. And Michelle was like, I'm not going to lie, I love this episode. I'm like, what? The weakest episode?
Absolutely.
But it's because, again, that is of her preference, being, girl loving, that type of love story dynamic, the drama, the theatrics in that. That's what drew her to her attention. So maybe this could be probably the only positive thing I'll speak about this episode. Maybe it's a positive that it will draw that type of attention towards Monarch Legacy of Monsters. But I'll just leave it at that. I'm sorry, Samson, that I cut you off, buddy.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
Well,
because it was on the mind the moment Joe stopped saying what he said. Now I lost it, so I don't know where I was going to go.
Well, I mean, that's great that Michelle likes it. I'm sure when because Mel hasn't watched it, so I'll watch it again. And you know what? And to be fair, this is the only episode this season so far that I've only watched once. All the other ones I've watched at least 2 times. So maybe I will have a different perspective. But to go to piggyback off of what you're saying, Jordan, not to sound like a butt, but I don't care that Michelle liked it. That's not the audience. Know your audience. It's the same thing as Star Wars. It's the same thing as Marvel. It's the same thing as, why are you what are your demographics for your fan base? What is it, 95.99% male? Why are you?
Whoa. Okay, I get it. I get it. You don't like love story. I get that. So on the last episode you missed, and we were talking about the love interest aspect of Shaw and Keiko. Okay, I for one said that I'm all for it actually because it adds something extra to the series and the drama of what's going on. And honestly, I'm a diehard Godzilla fan since 2 years old, and this is something that we've never experienced in a Godzilla show, movie, whatever, of how deep and a kind of like a relationship that they're going between somebody. And honestly, I'm all for it. I liked it. I like where they're going with it. And honestly, to add on what Jordan said with Michelle liking it, I was sitting here watching it with my 11-year-old daughter, and she was into it because of that drama, that what's going to happen next because this happened and whatnot. Like, she was hooked because it was dramatic. It was something different than just Titans or Kaiju fighting each other, which is all great, and I'll say that till I'm dead, but like giving that other aspect into this changes everything and just kind of helps build the cinema for it, honestly, into something that we haven't seen before in a Godzilla property.
And also, not to mention, it doesn't hurt to grow the fan base, even bring in that different audience, because that's how Godzilla has always continued to grow and evolve over so many years. And like I kind of even mentioned, I wouldn't say, I said last episode, I know I said in the chat last night. I mean, even with this love triangle that we got and that coming to blows in this episode, it reminds me of the very first Godzilla movie with Dr. Cerzar and Ogata. It brings me back to that, and that was in the original Godzilla movie. So the fact that they're kind of showing little hints of that now makes the story a little bit more interesting for me, even. And again, it's gonna bring in a whole brand new audience, and having a new audience isn't gonna do nothing but make Godzilla more appealing to others that usually aren't into this fandom.
Yeah, but the flip side to that is, do you turn off your diehard fan base? Do you lose and shed people along the way by trying to focus on getting more female or more this or more whatever?
Yeah, they need to figure out how to balance it out a little bit better.
There's plenty of properties, plenty of movies to go and watch and get your kick if that's what you want. If you want something else, something new, something different, because that's what Godzilla's all been about, right? Like, he's always been about evolving and doing different things and pushing the envelopes for different things. What's different about this? They're trying something different. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Is everybody a fan of the MonsterVerse? Absolutely not. We've heard that until we're blue in the face. Okay, we've heard that. Okay, but like, some people love it. Some people are getting hooked on it because of MonsterVerse, and they're then going back and seeing stuff. So like, them trying new things, adding new things, why not? They should.
Anybody else?
No, that's. I mean, at least regarding this specific topic, I've already said what I had to say. Again, there are ways of going about it. I'm hearing a lot of this is the first time that they went the love direction for Godzilla. I mean, are we not going to think about Shinose and Katsura from Terror of Mechagodzilla? Are we not going to not acknowledge Nikki Sagusa and, oh my goodness, I keep on forgetting this, one of the pilots from Ogira and Godzilla versus Space Godzilla? Hell, we can even go to recently Godzilla -1 with our two lead protagonists. There was a love angle somewhere there, but there was ways that they went about it that made it worthy for us Godzilla fans to be like, wow, that is awesome. I don't feel like this episode really justified it compared to what we've had in the past. And maybe it also has a lot to do with whatever direction they went for with the examples that thrown out there. It involved the kaiju some way, somehow, So I don't know. Maybe they haven't hit the nail in the coffin with that yet. But yeah.
That's what I was about to say. They need to properly balance it out a little bit better because yes, we are here for it doesn't even have to be kaiju. It could have been like the scarabs again or something, just the creatures, something. I wanted something more significant to happen other than the sleeping together aspect, which that was the big wow factor that wasn't really that big of a wow, honestly. When the villagers were chasing after them, it's like, oh man. And like you said at the very beginning of our discussion, Jordan, about how last week's episode was kind of a cliffhanger with the big reveal of our Titan X. I was expecting like it to maybe come ashore and do something and maybe tear up and take out some of the villagers. Do something to capture our interest, not just summon some scarabs and then go off into the depths. And yeah, that's what I was going to say, Joe. I loved what you said about how they need to make Titan X actually us fear it a little more. Like, I like what you said about it should have attacked the ships and maybe presented itself as a threat so that everybody is aware. And when the alarm went off and everybody's like, oh my God, look at the TV, look at that thing. Oh crap, here it comes. Instead of, no, I don't want to evacuate. I want to get drunk because stay here and dance. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. No, that's honestly my biggest point, and that goes to,
Nothing.
If you have something to say it. Come on, jump in. Don't be afraid
I'm
now.
just saying that's just,
Wait, with
that's
your
after the
trust.
fact. That's just after the fact, but what he's referring to. But okay, we're gonna just lump it into the same thing. But whatever.
No, I understand what he's saying though, because to me, we're 3 episodes in, and they kind of built to Titan X, ended with a cliffhanger, but then there was absolutely 0% movement towards the Titan X story in episode 3. And I understand what you guys are saying about the character development, and the love story gives it more weight, more gravitas. That's fantastic. She's in this series, for what we know, for 10 episodes this season. She's probably not coming back, right? Like, so let's get our money's worth out of her. You know, we only have so much time to show her origin, show her backstory, let her fight, let her become a threat, and then they're going to move on to something else in season 3. So I have to lean definitely more with Samson on this one. That like there should have been something else done, in my opinion, to strengthen Titan X. But that actually kind of
go ahead. No, keep going.
I was just going to say that actually goes into my. I think we spent a little bit more time on this than I want to do.
I know.
But that actually goes into kind of my next topic. I'm going to shave these down a little bit as you guys are talking next. I'm going to combine these two into one. Just the lack of kaiju altogether. Like, did you guys think that it actually kind of hurt the story? I know we've kind of touched on it and stuff. One of the things I heard several of you say was I think it was you, Jordan, was the lack of Godzilla. Here's my thing. That actually didn't bother me that much, because I think that his reveal should be like awesome and grandiose, and so I'm okay with waiting as long as his reveal is epic. You know, if he just like pops up out of the water, out of the blue, and starts attacking Titan X, I'm gonna be like, oh, whatever. But so lack of kaiju, lack of action, did it hurt your opinions of the episode or not? Eric, I'll just start with you on this one.
No, obviously, as what I've kind of been stating. And honestly, I thought Godzilla was going to be in this one, but I understand why, because after seeing it all. But you can almost guarantee he's going to be the next one, because as we've seen in the trailer, we know he comes to Tokyo. We know he enters Tokyo. He goes through that, what we saw in the trailer. Where are they right now? Coincidentally, they're in Tokyo. So actually, I thought we were going to get him at the very end of this episode, but we didn't, and that's fine, you know. But obviously, we're going to get him very, very soon, if not the next one. I don't know when, but like I think the next one is probably almost a guarantee, just because of what we've seen thus far. We're going to get him soon. But yes, I think they're waiting on revealing him, bringing him in, because I said this before, I think even in the first episode, maybe even the last episode we talked about, but he is the main course. He is the main attraction. Let's be honest. Like, I understand a lot of people are like, oh, it's about Kong, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think so. I don't think this season is going to be that route. Yeah, we got Kong in the very beginning, but we haven't got him either at all. You know, and he's, to me, honestly, it's kind of like the appetizer. It kind of got everybody going, got their blood boiling, got the adrenaline going, because okay, here's Kong. We have some kaiju action, you know, whatever. Then you know, Titan X went away. Kong didn't get to her. Yada yada yada. Okay, that's what you got. That's your little appetizer. What you're going to get of what comes later. That's how I feel it's going to happen with Godzilla. And yeah, I think it's going to be a huge appearance from him, because, like we've stated, it's the first time MonsterVerse Godzilla is going to be coming to Tokyo and actually doing something in Tokyo. So I think this can be very grand. Just that alone, that aspect alone is a big deal, honestly. But overall, no. Like I've been stating, the lack of kaiju did not sway my opinion on this episode. Obviously, there's other things that were great. I know we really focused on that particular moment, but there's other things. Even Adrian kind of touched base on it a little bit with, we got the reveal of the starting of Mechagodzilla and how that was created. Honestly, I thought it was the orca that they were talking about calling kaiju to certain areas and stuff. I thought, like, oh crap, like we're going to be seeing the reveal of the Orca, but we didn't. We actually got the cylinder mechanism of what is in Mechagodzilla. So that was significant alone, because now it leads us, and we already know, obviously, it's Apex is behind that, but like it gives us a little bit more backstory for how Mechagodzilla was formed and whatnot. So like we could see that later on where he's being built in the background and whatever. So like that's pretty interesting as well. So yeah, overall, I still think it was a great episode.
Jordy.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the ultimate reasons as to why I did not find this episode appealing at all. I'm sorry, I would say it till I'm blue in the face. You can't have anything involving Godzilla or any kaiju at that and not even acknowledge them in any type of way, shape, or form. Yeah, we got a little bit of that in the beginning, but it was a continuation of last week's episode. It wasn't enough to satisfy my needs. As I mentioned earlier, and Eric threw this out there too, I even thought Godzilla was going to come in this episode because of where things are partially taking place in right now in Tokyo, Japan, and we've all seen it that Godzilla will be coming back in Tokyo, Japan. The root of it all, but yeah, those are my opinions regarding the lack of kaiju action in this episode.
Sammy?
Yeah, same. The big build up with the cliffhanger of last week's episode, and also the villagers constantly talking about and praising this god monster, how they worship it and everything. Why didn't we see a reason for them to worship this creature? It showed up and summoned some scarabs and then took off. Let's build up and make Titan X seem more important than she is, which isn't happening yet. We've all said this. Joe, you said it the most. And also, yes, my expectations were high because the moment that it said Tokyo, I was like, I know what happens in the trailer. Is it going to happen? Are we going to see it? And then it didn't happen. So that left me disappointed. I said the thing about balancing it out with, it doesn't even have to be kaiju, maybe creatures of some kind. Just something. I need a little taste of some sci-fi, not the love story thing. I don't need a bar scene with the Blade rave music. That doesn't appeal to me either. It's not important. I'm here for the monsters. I have been my whole life. That's what part of the movie I'll fast forward to or use the scene selection and go to when I pop it on.
Adrian.
All right, so this kind of ties back into Jordan's question earlier for me about me initially being upset about the episode last night. Initially, it did bother me. It wasn't until I was able to sit down and kind of digest everything that happened in that episode. I was like, you know what? We didn't need no kaiju in this episode. It's fine. Because, again, last season, we got the same thing. We had 2 episodes right in the middle where it was just legit, just human story. And I promise you, this episode was better than those 2 episodes last season. Y'all know what 2 episodes I'm talking about. So it honestly didn't bother me at all that we didn't get any kaiju action after I sat down and thought about it for a second. Initially, it was jarring, but when I finally thought about it, it didn't bother me too much because we did get a lot of interesting storytelling in this episode that's really going to tie into what the rest of the season is going to look like, especially with May being with Apex now. Because I know one thing that I predicted last season was she's going to be the one to build Mechagodzilla, especially with them taking the orb as well. It's a guarantee now. It's foregone guarantee. She's building Mechagodzilla. And Eric also.
By she you mean May?
Yes, May.
What an utter disappointment that would be.
Yeah.
She's my least favorite character. Her and Kentaro are my least favorite, like, out of this whole series so far. Like, they are just nails on a chalkboard to me. I don't know why. I can't get behind them, and they're so unimpressive to me. I don't know. And maybe I'm being too harsh. Let's move on. We're already 45 minutes into this mess. All right, listen. The lack of Godzilla we talked about, the building of Mechagodzilla, that was kind of cool. One of the things I like to kind of see in these shows is the Easter eggs. I think Marvel kind of spilled or broke us with Easter eggs, teases, little words or things that are mentioned. One of the big ones, this one that I've seen floating around the interwebs, if you will, is that there's a screenshot of a screen and it says Titanus Mosura in New York. Have you guys seen that? A lot of so there was some. I wish I had the time to make slides, otherwise I would have pulled it up so everybody could have seen it. But it obviously alludes to something of Mothra being in New York, which a lot of people are talking about it breaking continuity. But we don't know anything about it. It's just a little, for one, it could just be like a fun little tease that they're putting in. Like, oh, here's Mothra, guys, like whatever. Number two, if there really is a Mothra egg in New York, it doesn't necessarily break continuity because it doesn't say where. It doesn't say that it's, in Central Park. It doesn't say that it's in the Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty. Like, it could be an egg 10 miles below ground for all that we know. But I don't know. I just kind of like to talk about Easter eggs and stuff like that because we got the Pulgasari one in the first episode. I don't remember if there was one last episode, but I kind of like that they're doing that. And honestly, a lot of what Monarch the show in its entirety is based off those little teasers, Easter eggs at the end credits of Godzilla King of the Monsters. So it's a great way to world build. And I think ultimately that might be a very quick summarization of my disappointment with this episode is that it didn't do enough world building. And that's what I really am looking forward to in this show. So, all right, to kind of veer things towards the end here, what are your guys's what are your hopes for next episode? Eric, you are kind of the lone warrior here, thinking, or I guess Adrian too, all of a sudden changing his mind compared to last night and all day today. But Eric, you liked. Oh, Adrian, I'm just kidding. You liked this last episode. What are your hopes for episode 4? Do you want them to continue making out and
I like I said, I like the backstory building of what happened between Shaw and Kiko, which resulted in Billy leaving Hiroshi alone, 11-year-old kid, abandoned. Okay, that brings that into why that happened. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then we got where Hiroshi and Kintaro are responsible for building the Mechagodzilla mechanism or whatever that we know of as Mechagodzilla, that, whatever. We know that they were responsible for that. Those little things, connecting the dots, tying the threads together, I love that. Let's keep doing that. Kiko asking about Hiroshi's family. She saw 2 pictures, wondering what's going on there. Hiroshi literally is beating himself up almost for it, even though he loved 2 people. Like you said, Jordan, not as vulgar as I'm going to say, but it just shows that they're the same person or they've gone through the same thing, and maybe they can talk with each other and kind of work through certain things, and making that connection as mother and son, but just knowing that they're not alone, honestly, like that kind of stuff, building those backstories, building those characters even stronger than they are. I mean, crap, even Tim became a freaking dog in this one where he's standing up for himself to his boss and was like, no, I'm not going to do this, and then he's going rogue and asking May to be a double agent in Apex. Like, I love that. That gives him something. That gives him character building. Hopefully, I know, Joe, you don't like May a lot. Maybe this is the push that they need to build her a little bit more so people care about her more. Because I'll be honest, she's not my biggest fan either. There's just not enough coming from her. I get that. But again, that's maybe just because we haven't gotten to her part in this season yet. I don't know. But just keep doing those little things, tying those threads together, keep attaching those links and making this overall picture basically come alive and actually become more clear and make things make sense even more, because that's what they're doing. They're doing these little Easter eggs, and then maybe the next episode you'll get a payoff, and then they'll do it again. They keep doing it again. They keep building on it. I like that. That has me compelled and wanting to watch another episode. The kaiju are always going to come. We know that. It's just a matter of time and when. Love that. I'm always going to be for that. But if you have me invested in human characters, dude, you have me. And the Showa Godzilla, the Millennium Godzilla, the Heisei Godzilla, if they have good character, human stories, overall, people like those movies. So, just saying, there is a coincidence.
Jordan.
I mean, what I would want and expect for this next episode, I mean, just a little bit more action. You know, I mean, we've you damn right. You damn right. I mean, I will throw, I guess, another sprinkle of to this last night's episode. I am curious to see how Billy's going to react when he opens that letter. That came to Shaw. But outside of all of that, dude, give me more of that grit. You know, give me the kaiju. That's all I ask for. I don't ask. And mind you, I think so far that last night's episode was the shortest episode that we gotten so far.
I think last week's was also 45 minutes too.
Like 44. It was 44. Yeah, it was 44 minutes. Yeah. Every other episode we had prior hand has been 50 minutes plus. So to take that also into consideration, like I want, as mentioned before, I want the big meaty men bumping me. That's what I want.
What?
The big meaty men bumping me.
Of course you do.
That's one way of putting it.
Oh my boy! All right, Sammy, go ahead and top the big meaty men bumping me.
I don't want to.
You don't want to top?
Yeah, just rawr. Yeah, let's dinosaurs. I want to see some Godzilla showing up. I want to see some more building on Titan X, because that was the big drive when we got that trailer for the show. It's like, oh my god, we got a new kaiju! Holy crap! What's it look like? What can it do? What does it look like? What's it gonna do? Destroy. I want to see some monsters. Damn it! And Joe, now that I've listened to you express your opinion, the world building, right? One of my genres that I don't like drama. I don't really have a lot of drama movies in my media collection, so that's kind of the human drama. I'm not into it. I'm just ready to see some cool stuff.
Oh, really, Samson?
What? I have some, but I don't. The majority of my collection isn't like The Notebook, as somebody said, or whatever, and stuff like that.
Is Unbreakable drama?
It's sci-fi drama.
Is it drama?
Is it drama?
I didn't say don't. I said that I don't have a lot. Don't look around the room. I'm right here. Look at me, damn it. But the love connection stuff, I don't care. I want to see some cool monster sci-fi stuff. And that's what I'm hoping for, especially since we're in Tokyo. Let's have our big reveal. Let's somebody turn on the thing that's going to call the scarabs, and Godzilla get mad. Like, hey, I don't like these scarabs. I'm going to come and mess up Tokyo and the scarabs at the same time. That's what I'm thinking.
Adrian?
So I definitely would like some more world building. I would like to know a little bit more lore on Titan X. And even though they did leave the island, are they going to be completely gone, or are they going to try and do some more digging to see what this Titan X is? Why is it just going to stop because we're gone from the island, or are they going to go back? What's going to happen? Because of course, I've always loved the past stories more, anyways. So I'm kind of seeing what that dynamic is going to go with that. And I would like to see Godzilla. I'm not gonna be mad if I do, but I'm gonna be upset if I don't. But I wouldn't mind seeing Godzilla at least make an appearance in this episode also. But I'm fine with getting more storytelling and more world building to see how Monarch becomes what it is today. As the show is titled Samson West.
Yeah, listen, that's my biggest complaint. I've said it throughout this episode that I want more world building and origins, backstories. I want something that moves the plot and the overall connectivity of these films and shows together, and I don't feel like we got that at all in this episode. It's great that your girlfriends or daughters or wives or whatever liked it, but it didn't do anything for the plot, in my opinion, or the overall general arcing story of this, except for I guess expanding the love triangle of Billy and Keiko and Shaw, but we already kind of knew there was something going on there. So I don't really think it expanded it enough, or at least enough to make it a 45-minute episode. That's just my opinion. All right, before we wrap up here, predictions. I've got one. I don't think we're going to see Godzilla till episode 6, 7. I don't think we're going to see him in the next couple episodes at all. I think it's not going to be until like the last handful of episodes. That's just my prediction. No idea. Just throwing it out there. I don't think I think they're saving it all to the end. Okay. Eric, you got any predictions for this season?
No, just that one might come true. Like I said in the first episode we did for the review, is that May is going to be responsible for making Mechagodzilla, and it kind of looks that way, so I'm going to stick with that.
Jordan, any predictions?
None that I could think of at the moment. I mean, I'll throw one out there as random as all hell. Titan X will fight Godzilla twice. Once in Tokyo, and two, probably some desert island or some sort. Maybe in Skull Island. I don't know.
They got to fight in the water at least. I mean, come on. We want to see a water fight. The last time we saw a kaiju water fight was Ebirah. That's like, okay, big lobster. Cool.
Godzilla
versus Kong.
Oh my God. Okay.
What about Godzilla versus Batra?
That's okay. Jesus Christ. All right.
What about Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah and GMK? I mean, it was very brief, but
water-based kaiju. That's what I'm talking about. A water-based kaiju. Being not a very big thinker, no, I don't have many predictions. No, I'm just sitting here waiting to see some cool stuff that's going to make me all giddy like a kid again. That's what I'm here for. I'm not a big thinker. You guys know that. This head is big, but nothing inside of it is.
Word. I agree. It's the smartest thing. So. Adrian, anything you'd like to change your mind to now?
Whatever. Damn. Well, I think what my prediction is, we'll at least see the specs of Mechagodzilla before the series is over this season. If not, maybe even Mechagodzilla's head being built. We'll see something to confirm. Yeah, this is Mechagodzilla for sure.
All right. Well, that does it for me, guys. I've talked off, said what I wanted to say, spread my opinions. Any last comments, questions, concerns relating to Monarch Episode 3 that you guys would like to get in there, or anything else you guys would like to discuss before we get out of here pertaining to Monarch?
Yeah, don't abandon kids.
Don't abandon most kids. Most kids, like 94.5% of them, 94.5%, 94.75% don't abandon. You know, the 5.25%, I can understand.
Despite majority of the negative feedback regarding this episode, for anybody who has yet to touch Monarch Legacy of Monsters, it is still a show that we would highly recommend anyone to try to jump into to help expand our much broad audience. And you'll be in for one quite bumpy ride.
Yes, the positive reaction that you've gotten from the show, please.
Majority
Watch this.
the reaction and opinions have been
Positive.
all negative.
Positiveness in this
episode. You had a bipolar reaction down below, and then you were the only one who had to be the stand-up to freaking stand out amongst everybody else. You could have just come on.
Could just conform for you, Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else got anything they want to say before I wrap this thing up?
Team Billy 2026.
What? What do you say?
Team Billy 2026.
Team
Is
Billy
there an
2020.
echo in this place? What is happening? Isn't that word for word what Jordan said?
That's what we're going for. That's the movie.
Yep.
Oh, I get it. Okay. All right. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are the MWA. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this show and all of our other shows, do us a favor. Go back in the archives, check us out. Hit that like button. It helps the algorithm, apparently, and it would really make us happy if you did. Also, most importantly, according to the analytics, a lot of you watch but don't actually sub to the channel. If you guys could do us a major, major favor and just hit that subscribe button, it would do us all a lot of good for all our egos, our sensitive male egos. So if you guys could just hit that subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. Captain Gordon says, don't be a host, share our show. You guys can see us every single week on Sundays for our weekly shows where we discuss the weekly topics, news, toy reviews, movie trailers, all this fun stuff every single week at 5 p.m. Central. Also, every Friday, you guys can check, or I'm sorry, every Saturday morning we will be dropping our reviews of last night's Monarch episode discussion review, things like that. So make sure you guys check us out every week on that. Next week we are doing, or excuse me, next month, April, our deep dive discussion, our monthly discussion is going to be Transformers Beast Wars, the whole series. It's a 30-year anniversary, so it should be a lot of fun. Also, I'm a man of my word, I lost the bet, so I will be shaving this beautiful face and these luscious locks, #BaldJoe2026, and we will also be doing our 3,000 subscriber giveaway. I don't think we officially have a product yet, so okay. Nope, we don't officially have a product yet, but we'll be getting that very, very soon for a giveaway, and I can say that it is very, very cool. You guys will absolutely enjoy it. With that being said, anybody else have anything else they want to plug before?
Currently going on this March, we are doing Figure of the Year voting, so please go vote for Figure of the Year. It will end March 22nd at midnight. So please go cast your votes. We have 10 different categories to choose from, and it's a lot of fun. We got a lot of traction for it, a lot of people voting, so please tell your friends, vote yourselves, tell a family member, show them what to do, cast a vote so we know who is the overall best of the best in each category, and also overall best of the best Figure of the Year for 2025.
Right on. With that, we will wrap up here. We appreciate everybody watching. Thanks, guys, for jumping on here with me and chopping it up as always. We are often imitated, never duplicated. We are the MWA, and around here we have a little phrase. It is one phrase, 3 words. Embrace the attitude.
Embrace the attitude.